Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Somayania Khan from Tehran University of Medical Science. I'm at your service in this part from Dental Technology Department. I hope the winter school is useful for you so far. In this part, through a clip, we will get acquainted with the different parts of my department, and after that you can see the two present valuable present and practical from Dr. Allahyari and Dr. Ismaili Fallah. Dr. Allahyari is one of the assistant professor at Tehran University of Medical Science, and he present the first lecture. After that, we can look at the present by Dr. Ismaili Fallah. After the present, you can see two movie, valuable and very excited movie from Dr. Ismaili Fallah. I'm sure it's very good for you. Therefore, don't miss this part of the Dental Technology Department.
In the name of God, the compassionate and the merciful. Hello and welcome to the Department of Dental Technology. My name is Zahra Hajmulali Kani and I'm one of the students of dental prosthesis. In today's world where the importance of dental and oral health as well as aesthetic needs come to the fore, dental prosthesis major is responsible for the most functional and healthiest preparation of prosthesis needed for individuals. In other words, this study is a combination of arts and science. Each year, 10 to 12 students are accepted in our department in bachelor degree. Here we can see nearly students of dental prosthesis and they are busy with the practical morphology exam. They have to carve interior teeth and gypsum block. The first exciting room is high-tech. This room consists of various devices used in dental technology, and we're going to take a closer look to some of them. We can refer to milling devices used for different purposes like attachment placing, metal milling. The other device is CAD/CAM, which seems to be a key necessity of today's world. Computer-aided design, CAD, and computer-aided manufacturing, CAM, are terms describing software that makes it possible to perform complex procedures more easily and more accurately. Today, digital technology has developed a lot in dentistry, and they can be used in different cases like digital impression taking, digital treatment planning, digital design, and digital fabrication. But how does it work? CAD/CAM involves the use of 3D scanner, a design software, and milling machine. This technology is used in both the dental clinics and the dental laboratories. We use dental lab scanner to create a 3D model of the cast. This is the special chamber that we can put our casts here and start scanning. Then this model is imported to design software to become a computer-generated cast, and we start to design restorations like PFMs, Zirconia-based restorations, inlays, onlays, and others based on treatment planning. We finalize our design and the file is sent to CAM. In this step, the construction of restoration is going to start by milling machine. And here we can see the block of different materials like zirconia, resins, or wax. This device is Madman, and we can consider it as an older generation of today's CAD/CAM. In order to achieve an accurate welding, laser welding device will be a great option. A laser welder can be a valuable tool in a dental laboratory. It can lower material and labor costs and increase productivity and quality by eliminating the need to invest and solder. There are two types of light curers used for composite indirect restorations. As you can see, this one has a special chamber for curing composite. Let me show you a memorable showcase of students' works during years. We can see works of different fields like orthodontics, maxillofacial, morphology, occlusion, removable prosthodontics, and fixed prosthodontics. Let's take a look at them. There are different types of maxillofacial prostheses. They can be divided into two groups of intra and extraorals. Extraoral examples are like eyes, ears, noses, and we can see mid-faces. The other devices are radiographic stands and also obturators. Here there are removable partial prostheses. You can see wax designs and also metal frameworks here. This student seems to like dinosaurs, and he has made the dinosaur made of wax. On the right side, we can see obodentures that are supported by implants. And at the left side, we can see complete dentures that are made by injection molding method. Let's see other kinds of fixed prostheses that we construct here, like functional wax-up, metal frameworks, and also we can see attachment placing here. At the other hand, we can see porcelain restorations in anterior teeth and as well as posterior teeth as a bridge. And at the top, we can see a gular cast and laminates. We can see removable orthodontic appliances like colorful retainers of upper and lower jaw. We can see other removable devices like chin cap, twin block, Frankel, and Farman. Morphology can be considered as one of the fundamentals of dentistry. Students will learn to carve teeth on wax and gypsum. These exaggerated teeth are made up from clay. Also, we can see dental drawings from different aspects of teeth. For example, these paintings show premolar teeth. Here we can see hard night guards, as well as radiographic stands used for insertion of implants. Here we are in porcelain room. The application of porcelain to a substructure is one of the most artistic and precise steps of making prostheses. Moreover, instruments and techniques used for applying porcelain are so numerous and varied. Here we can see different types of furnaces used during the production of ceramic restorations from older generations to newer ones. Here we can see different types of porcelain powders, and I can't say how enjoyable it is to play with colorful powders, as well as we need to be cautious to not mix up them with each other incorrectly. And here we can see shade mappings that can guide us to color our restorations. This room is intended for acrylic injections and polymerization steps. There are different methods of acrylic processing like injection molding, and we have a device here designed for this method. We can see traditional devices for polymerization at specific degree. This was a short trip to the Department of Dental Technology. We hope you enjoy it and see you soon at our university. And the last word, do something today that your future self will thank you for. Many thanks for your attention and goodbye.
Okay. Hello again. I invite one of the best student in dental technology to moderate the panel. Miss Zahra Haj Molla Ali Kani.
That's my pleasure. Hello, everyone. That's my great pleasure to be here in this panel, and I'm so thankful to my great professor for giving me this opportunity. The first lecture is about zirconia layering. I invite our professor, Dr. Somaya Allahiyari, to start the panel. Dear participants, you can type your questions in the chat box, and your questions will be answered at the end of the presentation. Dr. Allahiyari, panel is yours.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Somaya Allahiyari. I'm periodontist and assistant professor of Dental School, Tehran University of Medical Sciences. I'm honored to present my lecture. It is about zirconia layering methods. Actually, it is a review.
You don't have your voice. Not yet.
Do you have my voice? My lecture is about zirconia layering. Actually, it is an update and a review that I had written before. During these slides, we go through 4 items. First, introducing zirconia restorations and failures. Second, layering methods. Third, review on literature. And finally, have a discussion and conclusion. Let me have a little explanation about zirconia. Maybe some of you know zirconia. Zirconia is an indirect restorative material that has a tooth coloration. And due to its high strength, it can use instead of metal in bridge and crown, especially in posterior sections. Actually, it has used in 2 ways. First, as a core material to support more translucent veneering ceramics, or as a full contour monolithic zirconia without veneering restoration, without veneering ceramic restoration. Failure of zirconia supported restoration. Most clinical failure of zirconia restorations is due to chipping of veneering ceramic. We have also some adhesive failure in the interface of zirconia core and veneering ceramic. Sometimes also we have some fracture of the crown core, but mostly most of failure of zirconia restoration is due to chipping of veneering ceramic. There are several reasons for failure of zirconia restorations. For example, difference in coefficient of thermal expansion between the zirconia substructure and veneering ceramic. Also, improper framework design, low fracture, toughness and flexural strength of veneering ceramic. And last but most important items for our topic is improper techniques for layering zirconia. We have 3 major techniques for layering zirconia. First, hand layering. Hand layering is a conventional technique that is used for metal ceramic restoration. We use brush and apply ceramic on a metal or zirconia framework. Second, we have press technique that we use of pressing technique to connect veneering ceramic to the zirconia core, and digital CAD/CAM technique that in this technique both parts, zirconia framework and veneering ceramic connect together, with the intermediate ceramic or intermediate cement resin. And in this technique, both of framework and veneering are designed and milled by CAD/CAM technology. These pictures explain about hand layering technique. We have some zirconia course framework. At first, we apply base dent in ceramic, and after that, we have enamel, and we should follow recommended firing for baking porcelain, veneering porcelain on zirconia core. For first technique, after preparing zirconia framework and after adjustment zirconia course, we should use Zirliner. Zirliner is a bonding material that some company recommends for improving bond between zirconia cores and ceramic, veneering ceramic. After that, we should use of wax, actually building up to contour. And after connecting screws, we put complex in the wax, in the burning out furnace. Actually, wax is burning out and leaves is a space for veneering ceramic. After that, veneering porcelain enter screw channels and take waxes places up to company, maybe lithium disilicate or fluoroapatite ingot ceramic pressed into mold cavity on the zirconia framework. Finally, we have bilayer zirconia, and for achieving more aesthetic results, maybe we could use staining and glazing if required. And CAD/CAM veneering technique. Let me have a quick explanation about CAD/CAM technique. We have a scanning part that we scan, die, or cast. After that, we use software to design framework. And also in this technique, we use software to design veneering ceramic. And also we have milling parts that we milled zirconia or any ceramic blocks. And finally, we have sintering furnace. We put framework or veneering ceramic, and it's for improving and actually sintering results in a zirconia, more dense framework zirconia. There is a little difference between some systems. We have two major systems, Vita and Evocolor. In Evocolor, we have zirconia framework and ceramic veneering. Both of them are milled and designed by CAD/CAM technology. And after that, we put zirconia core in the veneering ceramic and use of intermediate cement resin. After cross off the excess cement, we should cure the cement. And after that, both parts connected together. But there is a little difference in Evocolor. We have zirconia framework and also veneering ceramic before sintering, and use of intermediate flow fusing ceramic between them, and after baking, two parts connected together. Now let me have a review on literature. I will review articles in two ways. First, comparison between veneering techniques in each system, I mean company or porcelain brands. We have three major technique systems, Vita, Evocolor, and Nuritake. And second, comparison between systems about each technique, I mean layering technique, heat pressing, and digital CAD technique. This article has compared three techniques, cat-on, press-on, and hand layering in evocolor system. And the result didn't show significant difference in fracture resistance between pressing and hand layering. But CAD-CAM technique showed a significant increase of mechanical stability. In this article, we have 4 groups. 2 monolithic zirconia without layering, but with different thickness, and 2 bilayered zirconia. 2 bilayered zirconia. One of them use hand layering, and one of them is pressing technique. Results show that monolithic zirconia has higher value than bilayered zirconia, and there isn't any difference between 2 monolithic zirconia. And between 2 bilayered zirconia, press system has higher value in terms of flexural strength than hand layering bilayered zirconia. This article has compared press-on and cat-on technique in Emacs. Actually, it is for evocolor company. And results show that cat-on technique resulted in greater microtensile bond strength than press-on technique. We have another article that was investigated 3 methods in Vita. We have 3 groups. First, digital CAD-CAM, hand layering, and pressing technique. And contrary to previous study, CAD-CAM has lower value in terms of chipping, avoiding chipping in contrast to hand layering and pressing system. There are also several articles that has investigated 3 methods, but I summarize them in this slide with sequences. For example, in terms of bond strength, metal ceramic groups has higher value than digital bilayer zirconia, and digital has higher value than pressing, and pressing has higher value than layering. In terms of translucency, press-on hand layering technique has equal value, and both of them have higher value than cat-on technique. In terms of flexural strength, cat-on technique has higher value than hand layering. This article showed this result. Cat-on has higher than hand layering, and hand layering has higher value than press-on technique. And in terms of marginal fit, cat-on and press-on has equal value. Both of them has higher value than hand layering. Up to now, I compared 3 different techniques in each system. Hereafter, I draw your attention to the comparison between systems about hand layering technique and to another techniques. This article showed that IPS Emacs Ceram is for evocolor, and Vita VM9 has equal value in terms of shear bond strength. Both of them has higher value than Ceravim. It is for Nuritake. But all of them has wasn't show significantly difference. This article has compared 3 systems about press technique, and results show that CZR has higher value than Vita, and Vita has higher value than Emacs. And authors concluded that lucite containing systems such as CZR Press and Vita PM9 exhibit better physical properties than others. And finally, we have an article has compared systems about CAD technique. Actually, we have 2 major techniques in this article. And results show that CAD-on product for evocolor revealed higher strength than CAD technology in beta with same thickness. But manufacturers suggest a minimum veneer ceramic thickness of 0.7 millimeter for Cat-on and 1 millimeter for beta. Okay, to avoid veneering failure for mentioned methods, recently there has a trend of fabrication of full contour monolithic zirconia. For increasing translucency and aesthetic for full contour zirconia, some modifications such as sintering temperature, fabrication process, and addition of coloring liquid have been applied. Monolithic zirconia is good candidate for posterior FPTs, especially in a situation when we have grinding or clenching. Also, limited occlusal coronal space is another case in which monolithic zirconia should be used. And also, monolithic zirconia showed greater passivity of fit than veneer zirconia. Now I will discuss about articles. Actually, there is significant variation in reports. We have an article that there is reports no veneer ceramic fracture at all, and others showing fracture rates more than 50%. There are many factors causing veneer fracture, such as insufficient veneer strength, inexperience with new ceramics, mismatching coefficient of thermal expansion, and insufficient framework support. But finally, CAD-CAM and press technique have been developed. Actually, in most articles, CAD-CAM was introduced as a reliable method with lowest failure. But because CAD-CAM and press technique have been developed in recent years, relevant scientific information is scarce. Actually, CAD-CAM technology isn't always usable, and to prevent problems with veneer cap placement due to undercuts, especially in cases of multiple units of fixed processes, the framework must be designed with care. As a conclusion and suggestion, we can say in bilayer zirconia, digital veneering system has the highest mechanical behavior than to others. But further examination after long-term use is needed. And given the new zirconia with high translucency, the use of full contour zirconia restorations have become another way to avoid veneer ceramic fracture. Thank you so much for your attention. I'm here. If there are questions, I will answer. Dr. Niakan, could I see questions?
Type in your chat box. Please type your questions if you have any in the chat box, please. I can see there is no question. Thank you so much, Dr. Al-Dahiri, for a great presentation. That was a great honor and great pleasure for me to hear your great lecture. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Zahra.
Thank you.
Students of Tehran University of Medical Sciences. This is a valuable moment that we can appreciate the diversity and try to build a dynamic, empowered, and united expert community that can can deliver real value to the people all around the world by balancing deep insights with an innovative and collaborative mindset. We're passionately waiting for your engagement.
From my side and on behalf of my other colleagues, I'm welcoming you as new students at Faculty of Pharmacy TUMS, and I hope you start your new semester and your new part of your life powerful and in a good health.
We look forward to serving you and making sure you have successful goals. Try your best in everything that you do and know that you will be supported by us.
I'm very happy that in the midst of coronavirus crisis, we are still witnessing the arrival of new students who are interested and motivated in studying TUMS. Your education promises the continuous training of new workforce in the healthcare system that can be a future guardian for health and well-being of the world people.
The bad news is about the pandemic of COVID-19 around the world, but the good news about Tehran University of Medical Sciences. I'm sure you will have a great journey in this university. Hope to meet you soon and welcome to the university.
On behalf of our staff and our faculty members, I would like to welcome you and congratulate you for choosing our university, which is, of course, among the top prominent and well-known medical universities in our region. Academia is important to us, and with the right allocation and dedication of your time, you will definitely be rewarded with excellence in academia. I hope you find excellence and professionalism with us, and I hope a happy and memorable stay in our university and in our country, and success for your future endeavors. Good luck.
Thank you so much for following us. I hope you enjoy it. The last presentation is about consideration of restorations in the aesthetic zone. I invite Dr. Ismaili Fallah, one of the best Iranian dentists. Dr. Ismaili has attended many courses in different countries, and he had some courses like, for example, with Dr. McLaren. Dr. Ismaili, panel is yours, and thank you.
Hello, everybody. I hope all is well. I am Dr. Pejman Ismail Fallah from Tehran. I will share with you some consideration about aesthetic dentistry and talk about white aesthetic dentistry, aesthetic score. And after that, talk about composite layering art. And at the last, I show a movie from making laminate feldspathic.
Hello everybody, I hope all is well. I am Dr. Pejman Ismail Fallah. Today I'd like to share with you the consideration of tooth reconstruction in lab. First, I am going to present the white aesthetic score. The next I hope all is well. I am Dr. Pejman Ismaili-Fallah. Today I'd like to share with you the consideration of tooth reconstruction in lab. First, I am going to present the white aesthetic score. The next presentation is about composite layering, art, and surface structure. Finally, will be presented the how to make feldspathic laminate veneer. I always talk about this slide at the beginning of every lecture or class because I think it's the definition of today dentistry. Historically in dentistry, we have been looking for function and mechanic and were principles for chewing and speaking system. Later, aesthetics or beauty added to the principles of dentistry. In 2002, Dr. Pascal Manier published this photo in his book, which I think this photo expressed the meaning of dentistry at the beginning of the present century. If we respect biologic principles, we achieve the principles like mechanic and function and aesthetics as well. The success of principles, mechanic and function and aesthetics is also directly related to respect biologic principles. Three principles of dentistry interact with each other and also interact with biology. And after that, in 2005, Dawson published his book with this title, Functional Occlusion from TMJ to Smile Design. This title confirmed biologic view. A stable occlusion and healthy TMJ indicate the correct biologic principles, whether a smile design or beautiful smile is as a result of healthy biology. From biologic view, we must respect the laws of nature and be a naturalistic. From the naturalistic view defines biomimetic dentistry and means to copy what is lifelike. Nature has provided the most successful and ideal properties to our natural teeth. When restoring damaged, broken, and decayed teeth, the goal is to return the teeth to its original strength, function, and aesthetics. Biomimetic dentistry accomplishes all of these in conservative, strong, and attractive approach. We should restore healthy bone, healthy soft tissue, and tooth. In this photo, we have reached the mechanics and function, and even if the patient is lowly blind, maybe we have reached aesthetics. But the soft tissue around implant is not healthy, and the color and texture of gingiva is not well favored. But in next photo, you can see an implant with healthy gingiva, which is the result of biologic view of treatment. Today's dentistry means restorative view versus prosthetic view, and we should restore all of the tissues in dentistry. And biologic treatment is a long-lasting treatment, and you see the result of treatment after 7 years. In this case, a biologic treatment has been performed. The reconstruction of bone and gingiva has been done, and you can see the result. We should have a criteria for evaluating these types of treatment. White aesthetic score and pink aesthetic score are proposed for this model of treatments with 7 indicators for gingiva and 5 indicators for the teeth. Perhauser and colleagues introduced a distinguished proposal termed the pink aesthetic score to assess the gingival condition according to 7 parameters: mesial papilla, distal papilla, soft tissue level, soft tissue contour, alveolar process deficiency, soft tissue color, and texture. Alessandra
Lanza and colleagues. The pink aesthetic scores is summarized by them and assess the gingival condition according to 5 parameters: mesial papilla, distal papilla, curvature of facial mucosa, level of facial mucosa, and root convexity and soft tissue color and texture. White aesthetic score. Belzer and colleagues developed the white aesthetic score to measure implant prosthetic conditions according to 5 variables: to form, outline volume, color, surface texture, and translucency and characterization. Alessandro Lanza and colleagues, like the Belzer, measured the tooth conditions according to these 5 variables. Dr. Zhang Chen used pink aesthetic score and white aesthetic score for natural teeth. I recommended the use of white aesthetic score for restorations in all works in daily practice. So, success in aesthetic is measured by 2 indicators: pink aesthetic score and white aesthetic score. And today's discussion is how to achieve high scores in white aesthetic score. White aesthetic success is related to tooth shape, surface structure, and color teeth. If we want to express the importance in order to, first the indicators that are related to anatomy, and anatomy is related to tooth form and outline. Then the surface structure is about natural glaze or natural gloss, and micro shape is about macro texture and micro texture. And finally, the color is related to translucency and fluorescence and opalescence. In the next 2 presentation will be explained about anatomy, surface structure, and translucency in the clinical composite, and the construction of feldspathic laminate veneer in why anatomy and textures are perceived better than color. Because the nature of our eyes. The cone cells, about 6 million, situated mainly in the center of the retina, are responsible for chromatic reception. But the rods, about 120 million in number, are greater in number relative to cones and are present throughout the entire retinal surface. The rods have a strong reactivity to light and thus are useful in low light conditions and for the recognition of shape. This means that the eye better perceives shapes and the contrast between shadow and light than colors. Shape means anatomy, shadow and light of colors means value. In the next lecture, I will talk about translucency more. In summary, the translucent material that does not allow the object behind to be readily visible, like a sandblasted glass. And in tooth, we don't have transparency. The term transparency applies to material that allows light to penetrate while objects behind still appear quite clear. Let me talk a little bit about color. The tooth is a colored, translucent object. There are 17 systems for color definition. We use HSV system for dentistry, and HSV means hue, chroma, value, and some companies like Vita use LAB system. The Mancell color system is a color space that specifies colors based on 3 dimensions. Hue is the actual color or shade, value is lightness, and chroma is saturation. This system offers the proper way of describing the light interaction with dental hard tissues. Tooth shades are classically divided in A to D shade guide, with each letter having 3 to 5 levels of chroma. A shades tend to be more reddish, B more yellowish, C is yellowish and gray, D reddish and gray. Value is a parameter that indicates the level of color brightness of an object or tooth. The value scales goes from white, high value, to black, low value, and it is fundamental for restoration. As already described, the human eye perceives light and shadow far better than colors. Small variations of value in dental coloration can be immediately perceived, like the right bottom photo. Therefore, the value parameter has a determining role in color and is far more important than chroma and hue. Small variations in chroma and hue are invisible to the human eye, like the middle photo. The value is a primary role and hue and chroma is a secondary role. It could be arranged the Vita shade guide based on value. On the right side, there are low chroma colors and A and B colors, and on the left side, you can see high chroma colors and C and D colors. It is important to remember that form, translucency, texture, value, opalescence, and fluorescence are the key elements to consider during shade taking and color production. Now, for lack of time, I don't speak about opalescence and fluorescence. In subsequent lectures, will be explained about form, translucency, and texture. That brings us to the end of the presentation. I like to summarize by saying aesthetic dentistry is a biologic dentistry. Assess the aesthetic dentistry with pink aesthetic score and white aesthetic score. The parameters of white aesthetic score are tooth form and outline that are related anatomy. The surface texture is about secondary anatomy or microtexture, and tertiary anatomy or microtexture, and natural gloss. And final parameters are translucency and color. Value of the color is more important than hue and chroma, and translucency is affected the value of the color. I sincerely appreciate your attention. Please feel free to contact me. Goodbye.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Ismail Fallah, for your great presentation. There's a question and I want to ask from you. Is there a value for aesthetic scores? Are there numbers that indicate the score?
No, we don't have a number for the value in the white aesthetic score. White aesthetic score is about anatomy and texture and about the color. Value is the part of the color, and we don't have a special score for value in white aesthetic score.
And there is something else. Someone has said, some books say that while we determining the color, you need the sun. What do you say about that?
Sun, because we have a natural light. In the clinic, we can make the natural light by the lamp about 5,500 degree of Kelvin.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Is there any other question? Please feel free to type your questions here. There is another one, sorry. What does it really mean when we say the aesthetic score is high?
When the aesthetic score is high, our case is a completed treatment plan, and we had a biologic treatment, and the case is excellent. But when the R scores is low, our case is not successful, and we have a problem in future or in the now we have a problem with our patient.
And there is another question. Doctor, when is the best time to determine the color of porcelain or zirconia?
When we want to determine the color, the best time is before preparing of the tooth, and then when the preparation of the tooth is finished, we should check the color, the abutment check, and after that we should take a photo and send to the lab, and we should have a good lab communication with the laboratory by a photo for the color determination.
There is another question. For determining the color, the background should be gray.
Please repeat.
Yes, sure. For determining the color, the background should be gray.
Should be gray or blue, light blue or gray.
And other person has asked, during some cases of veneer treatment, the patient wants very shine white teeth. Does it affect on her in the future?
This color is an artificial color, and after that, some patients don't like this color. And in the next lecture, I talk about the natural gloss and natural glaze. We should consider about the artificial gloss, because our teeth is not extra shiny or artificial gloss, and they are natural glaze or natural gloss. I will show you how to make it on composite or on porcelain.
I think there is no other question. Thank you so much, Dr. Ismaili Fallah, for your awesome presentation.
Welcome.
Thank you, doctor. It's very, very awful. Thank you. Don't miss 2 film after that from Dr. Ismaili, because this film is so exciting and valuable and useful for you in the dentistry and in communication with lab technician.
Thank you very much, Dr. Niakan. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I hope you are doing well. In this lecture, I am talking about how to make feldspathic laminate veneer in lab and how to create surface structure on porcelain. Hello everybody, I'm Dr. Pejman Ismailov. In this lecture, I am talking about the layering art in clinical composite and surface polishing. One of the Iranian poets Sohrab was told in his poem, "We need to rinse our eyes and view things differently. And now we have to view tooth differently. Tooth is made of different translucencies. For reconstruction of teeth, translucency is more important than hue and chroma of the color. We should know how to play with translucencies. Now the main question, what is translucency? Transparent material is like a glass. Translucent material is like a sandblasted glass. Opaque material is like a wall. In other words, opaque material is blocked light totally, and transparent material is transmitted the light totally. But translucent material is transmitted some of the light. Look at the middle of the slide. The glass of milk blocked the light, and the glass of the butter transmitted the light. But the mixture of the milk and water allowed to pass some of the light. Tooth could be more or less translucent and is related how much the light is passed. We have to play with translucency, then we can reconstruct natural tooth. In the following, I explain about how to recreate natural tooth. Look at the picture. There are different translucencies in buccolingual and mesiodistal dimensions. On the other hand, more than 2 or 3 different translucencies are in dentine, and you can see more different translucency in enamel. In this paper from Dr. Amr Eterbi in Cairo, it's explained about the color shape or shade mapping in summary and useful. He divides the tooth into the 6 parts on different translucency. The incisal halo. You can see it at the edge of the incisal. Translucent zone in the middle of 1/3 of incisal. Mamelons are at the bottom of incisal edge and are dentine horns among the incisal enamel. Interproximal enamel is a translucent area and has a low value. Tooth body is 1/3 of the middle and determine the hue of the color. Tooth neck or cervical area has a minimum enamel, and you can see the chroma or saturation of the color. This paper was published in 1999 by Dr. Ed McLaren, and he talked about the new term skeleton buildup. Why skeleton buildup, or what is skeleton buildup? For easy and quick detection of our individual differences depends on the appearance of the skin surface, not inside the body, and over time by age. Skeletal changes are less than the skin surface changes. Therefore, the surface layer of the skin is crucial role in detecting changes. In tooth, dentin is like a skeleton and enamel layer is like a skin. Please download and read this article to understand more about this topic. In a skin layer, for understanding the importance of texture, look at this statue. The lion statue is made up monocolor and white and opaque stone. The differences between the hair and the leg and the skin of the body are related to the texture of superficial layer of this statue, not color or any translucencies. The texture of the tooth is important and is related to the age and habits, etc. Please look out or pay attention to the texture of changes by age. In the 8-year-old and 30-year-old girls in these photos. For reconstruction of the tooth with clinical composite or dental porcelain, I make an offer. This framework or algorithm. The name of this algorithm is Logical Recreation Tooth Algorithm or LRTA technique. LRTA technique has two master phases, dentin core and enamel layer. From the first one, the dentin core is gained the hue and saturation of color. As I mentioned earlier, in dentin area, there are different translucency in mesiodistal and buccolingual dimensions. And the enamel layer defines the value and the shape and the texture of the tooth. This algorithm or framework is a good guide for tooth reconstruction. For layering art or tooth reconstruction should be categorized are composite or ceramics by translucency. In this video, I use Vitalucence composite from Ultradent company. In this system, there are 4 series or grades translucency. Grade 1 is opaque composites, the lowest translucency. Grade 2 is dentin composites. Grade 3 is enamel composites. And grade 4 is translucent composites, the highest translucency. Firstly, make the root by dentin composite, then make enamel shell by enamel composite or translucent composite. In clinic, for composite layering for class 4 cavity need to be made the palatal shell or wall firstly, and then start the layering art. You can see it in this video. Make a palatal shell or palatal ball with the translucent composite or enamel composite in every system. After making the palatal ball or palatal shell, place some dentin composite on the palatal shell and then shape in 3 lobes and form it fish teeth like. You can see it in this video. Place dentin composites. Make 3 lobes. And with the point of the explorer, make a fish tip like under the microscope or loop. Make 3 loops. After that, fill the gaps between mamelons by translucent composite. Blue translucent or iridescent blue at the corners. You see it. And for the middle of incisal edge, place transmist or whitish translucent material. Finally, cover the dentin and translucent composite with enamel material. Then shape the tooth, line angles, and macro texture. Make the distal line angle. Make the mesial line angle. Now generate or making the macro texture, mesial one and distal one. The mesial one is longer and narrow, and the distal one is short and wide. And finally, finish our texture and enamel layer with this brush. Okay, talking about the surface structure. You can see in these photos, the surface structures. Outline, line angles, macro texture, and micro texture. For shaping and forming the anatomy should be done in 4 steps. In stage 1, form the generic shape of the anatomy. In stage 2, create line angles and 3 plans of tooth as a primary anatomy. In stage 3, create macro textures, defines the secondary anatomy, and finally in stage 4 is optional and create microtexture as a tertiary anatomy. For outline, it should be checked 12 points or 6 areas of anterior teeth. Area 1 is mesial contact between point 1 and point 2. Area 2 is mesial emergence profile between point 3 and 4. Area 3 is gingival zenith, point 5. Area 4 is distal emergence profile between point 6 and point 7. Area 5 is distal contact between point 8 and point 9. And area 6 is incisal border between 3 points, 10, 11, and 12 point. Means that the incisal border is a wavy-like, not straight. In primary anatomy or second stage, you determine the line angles and 3 plans. Remember, the mesial line angle is straight and the distal one has curvature in disto-incisal. Incisal plan of 3 plans should be perpendicular to the occlusal plan, and the gingival plan of 3 plans is parallel to the emergence of root. In third stage or secondary anatomy is creation of macro texture. Macro texture consists of lobes that are, as a rule, divide the buccal face of the tooth into concavities and convexities. The mesial one is long and narrow, and the distal one is shorter and wider. And fourth stage is optional. Tertiary anatomy is optional and create microtexture. Microtexture refers to tiny groups, mostly horizontal, that are normally found in young teeth. I recommend it for creating the natural surface could be done with 12 steps. Step 1. Firstly, we must have complete polymerization. Complete polymerization is gained by covering all of the surface with glycerin gel for elimination of inhibition oxygen layer. Second step is outline phase. For contouring, the generic shape of the tooth is performed by carbide bars or discs, and at the end is polished by quartz rubbers. Step 3 is primary anatomy. For primary anatomy, line angles and 3 plans is used carbide bars and discs. Fourth step is secondary anatomy. For secondary anatomy, draw the macro texture with pencil and generate groups with carbide bars. After that, primary polishing phase is used with quartz and medium rubber. For tertiary anatomy is the last phase of the finishing. For tertiary anatomy, draw the microtexture with the pencil and with gentle pressure and with carbide bar is generated. Now the finishing phase is completed and starting the gloss phase of polishing. In this stage, the sun-like rubbers are used for natural gloss and use it with at the low speed, and then with natural gold brush and 3 micron aluminum oxide at low speed. After the 3 micron aluminum oxide, use 1 micron diamond paste and with a gold brush at low speed. And then with 0.5 to 1 micron diamond paste with felt wheel at low speed. And finally, use silicon carbide brush to change the surface from artificial shiny to matte finish or natural gloss. In this video, you can see all of these 12 steps. Step 1 is making the outline. Make the generic shape and outline form with carbide bars. At the end of the outline stage, you can use quartz rubber. And now, starting the primary anatomy phase, draw the line angles and draw the 3 plans of the tooth. And then, with the discs or carbide bar, you shape this anatomy, primary anatomy. Now, starting the secondary anatomy phase and drawing the macro textures with pencil. With a carbide bar and the red contour angle is better. And now is primary polishing with quartz and medium rubbers. And now starting the tertiary anatomy. Tertiary anatomy or microtexture is optional and is not mandatory. You draw the parallel lines for the creating microtexture and use the contour angle, red contour angle and small pointed bar. And gentle pressure. Now the finishing phase is completed and now start the polishing phase with sun-like rubber. You can use it at low speed and with water. Now I use 3 micron aluminum oxide with a natural gold. Now I use the 1 micron diamond polish with the natural gold. And finally use 0.5 or 1 micron with a felt discs and buffet for gaining the extra shiny surface. And finally, use silicon carbide brush for getting matte finish or natural gloss. Finally, you can see the results. You can see the differences between the diamond polish and rubbers. In the root area, polished only with rubbers, and in the crown, we use natural gold brush, and you can see the differences. Please feel free to contact me for any information. Take care of your health. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ismail Falla, for such a great video. I think there are some questions. If I may, I will read for you. The first one, can we implant this type of tooth to the patient with crown from composite and artificial dentin with a special solution to keep it for a long time and implant to the patient? What's your opinion?
I couldn't understand this question. I think and I don't have any answer about this question.
It's let me go to other one. By how many millimeter should a ceramic or zirconia or composite be over-contoured to allow for creation of these aesthetic features without compromising the original form and shape of the tooth being replaced?
I think the best work is the minimal over contour, because the time I answered before, the time is money, and it is the best only during the finish phase and polishing phase. I am against about the over contour, because I think it's better make the anatomy at the first time.
There's another one. For aesthetic restorations, are there some special considerations to make during clinical tooth preparations, like amount of tooth material to remove? I think they're somehow the same.
I think when we do finishing, I think the answer of these questions is about when do finishing the composite or ceramic, we should care about the adjacent tooth or the tooth body, and the right amount of tooth material to remove. I think this is the answer. If you have any opinion, please guide me or ask another question to me.
Can we buy this polishing set somewhere?
These polishing set from the Ultradent company. Ultradent company is a US company, and I use the Ultradent company polishing system. The only 3 micron the aluminum oxide polishing paste from Cosmetic company, and the buffet is from Cosmetic company. The others one is from Ultradent company.
And I think there is another one. How many rotations per minute do you use for shaping and polishing?
Less than 10,000 at RPM at the minute, per minute. Less than 10,000. And we should use water. We should use water for polishing system.
There is another question. What is your idea about using modeling resin?
Modeling resin, it's good for the forming and shaping, and sometimes I use it, but in this video I didn't use it, but in clinic I use modeling resin from Ultradent company. I use it.
Okay, there's another question. Is the smoking affect on this type of teeth?
If our polishing system is not good, yes, the smoking affect the color and in the future. But I always remember that smoking affect the natural teeth.
And there's another one. Which cosmetic or kind of composite is the strongest?
I do not know about this question, but I think in my experience, IPS Impress Direct from Acrylic and Vital Essence from Ultradent, I think is the best, but this is my opinion.
Okay, I think. What kind of adhesive system do you use? What kind of adhesive system do you use?
Please repeat.
Yeah, sure. What kind of adhesive system do you use?
Adhesive system. I use adhesive system from Ultradent company and Evocolor company, and the other one from Kurare from Japan. I think Kurare is the best company for the bonding and adhesive dentistry.
I think there is a misunderstanding from someone. That person has said, polishing rubber can't use with water because we use it with angle. You said we should use water. I can't understand.
If you some contra angle doesn't have the water system, but the best quality of the contra angle should be with the water, and B&R company, I know because I use B&R company, the contra angle from B&R company has the water system.
Thank you so much. I see no other questions. There's another one, sorry. How about polishing creams?
About polishing paste, one of them, the 3 micron from the Cosmetic company, and the 1 micron or 0.5 pastes from Ultradent company.
Thank you so much. I don't see any other question. Thank you so much, Dr. Falda.
Okay, thank you very much. Do you have my voice? Do you have my voice? Do you have my voice?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Doctor, for your nice presentation. And I would like to express my appreciation to all audience. And this is the end of this panel. Dr. Niakan, are you with us yet?
Dr. Niakan.
Okay, I think Dr. Niakan will join us in a few seconds, and I would like to ask all audience to stay with us for the last keynote speaker. We will have a very brilliant lecture in about 29 minutes by Professor Dr. Michael Kowalik from Indiana University. Therefore, I would like to thank Doctor for your presentation. Also, I would like to thank Dr. Niakan and her students for moderating this panel. Thank you very much, and stay with us. We will have a short break, and we will back soon in few minutes. Thank you. Okay.
Dr. Shakib, thank you for your helpful. The panel will be continued.
Sorry.
We have another film.
Okay. Because I am not at the office, I was not well aware about the details, but I hope it would finish in before 4 p.m. According to Tehran local time.
Okay, before 4.
Sorry for interruption.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. I hope you are doing well. In this lecture, I am talking about how to make feldspathic laminate veneer in lab and how to create surface structure on porcelain. In this case, firstly, I placed an implant and then made feldspathic laminate veneer for anterior teeth. Due to lack of time, I cannot present the procedures of treatment. Feldspathic porcelain is a highly translucent aesthetic material for restorations. Feldspathic porcelain is fabricated with the traditional veneering porcelain powder and liquid brush build-up technique. This type of restoration has many benefits, including minimal preparation. Patients are able to retain much of their original tooth structure. Despite many advantages of feldspathic porcelain, it does have some issues, including being the weakest of the restoration material. When it is used, it is best on anterior teeth that still have enamel in place. One of the crucial aspects of successful aesthetic restorative dentistry is controlling gingival contours. Ideally, the ceramist should work on a master cast that has the gingival elements intact. As I mentioned in my previous lecture, aesthetic means health and beauty. Aesthetic scores is divided two sections. Pink score and white score. Pink score defines the health of gingival. For having a healthy gingival, physiologic contours or emergence profiles are important. Over-contoured of restorations can lead to gingival inflammation. For these reasons, glare cast or soft tissue cast is the best technique for ceramist because ceramist works on a master cast with the gingival elements. For reasons of time, I cannot talk about how to make a glare cast for feldspathic laminate veneers. If anybody wants to know about this topic, send an email or direct on Instagram, and I will send the PDF of this topic. The refractory dye immediately is absorb the water of porcelain mixture. The refractory dye should be sealed with slurry mixtures in thin layer, and for better sealing of refractory dye, bake it in furnace 50 to 100 degrees higher than normal baking of porcelain. Of many different translucencies in mesiodistal and buccolingual dimensions. Companies normally give us 3 to 5 different translucencies, but we need more. We have to make a specific palette like oil painting palette. I name it Translucencies Mixture Palette. In this video, 6 mixtures with different translucencies is made by mixing of 3 ceramic powders. Now mix the deep dentine with dentine. Lowest translucent material with medium translucent dentine and make a low translucent dentine. And then mix the dentine with highest translucent material or transneutral 50-50% and make a high translucent dentine. Again, mix the high translucent dentine with the transneutral material and make a highest translucent dentine. Highest translucent dentine, high translucent dentine, medium translucent dentine, low translucent dentine, and lowest translucent material. We talked about this slide in previous lecture. For reconstruction of teeth with ceramics, we need this algorithm. The first step of this algorithm is applying different mixing dentine powders in multiple or one step. For time reasons, in this video, I applied dentine mixtures in one step. For increasing the length of tooth, the low translucent porcelain like deep dentine is applied for blocking the light at the incisal edge. If we don't block the light in the bottom of incisal edge, the value of incisal third is reduced intensively and will be had the grayish tooth or low value tooth at the incisal area. Because the finishing line is above the gingiva, the mixture of dentine and translucent, high translucent dentine, is applied to create a better color matching in cementation time. Use high translucent dentine in this area. Now shape three lobes for making mamelons by low translucent dentine. And apply highest translucent dentine at the corners. Incisal edge and block the light. For creating mamelon is placed a mixture of mamelon powder and glaze liquid in three lobes at the incisal edge and block the light. Mamelon's powders is the high fluorescent material. For this step is used small size of brushes. It is better it is shaped under the loupe or lab microscope. Now the dentine core is finished, and for enamel layer we used translucent powders, different translucencies. Opal 1 is the most translucent material in the opal powders and is used in translucent area like incisal edge with each other like dentine powders. Opal 1 is a translucent material and is applied between mamelons gap. Treating the shape and anatomy of the tooth. Shape the line angle, distal line angle, and then mesial line angle. Shape the incisal border or check the anatomy and the shape of tooth in every view. Now shape the contact area. In this area I use opal 3 because opal 3 is whitish opal powders, and we don't lose the value in this area. Because we want high value restoration. Border or incisal edge, use some low translucent material like deep dentin for making halo line. Finished. Now starting the shape and anatomy phase. Firstly, rub the articulating paper. Then the line angle of adjacent tooth is being visible. With pencil is drawn the line angle of tooth. Then should be trace the tree plan of tooth. Check the exact dimensions between line angles and other area by Bally gauge. With diamond bar, generate the shaping of anatomy. As usual, the line angles are the continuation of the gingival emergence route. Check the anatomy in every view angle. Finally, tertiary anatomy is optional. Draw the parallel tiny line. It is better is done this step under loupe or microscope. It is completed the finishing phase by ceramic polishing rubbers. Phase. A staining phase should be done separately. For time reasons, some lab technicians perform the glaze phase and a staining phase in the same time. Simple staining technique is applied mixture of orange and brown at the cervical area for increasing the chroma. Corners and between match. For the glaze step, I do not use glaze paste, and firstly I applied the glaze liquid and then sprinkle glaze powders on the tooth. Official paste. In these photos, you can see the final results.
Thank you so much for your participating in this panel. I hope you enjoy it. And since we have short time, The films will be uploaded on the site completely. You can see it in the site, also a Facebook page. Thank you so much and have a great day.
If you have any question from Dr. Ismaili Fallah, you can email for him. Dr. Ismaili Fallah, thank you for great movie and your valuable lecture.
Thank you very much.